My name is Deborah Hughes, and I'm the mother of 3 children with dyslexia, and I have been supporting them for more than 20 years now. Their successes have been an inspiration to me and have encouraged me to further my own lifelong learning journey. It is also the reason that I work for the Dyslexia Association in Singapore, the DAS, and I have done so for more than 10 years now. My role at DAS allows me to be an advocate for the dyslexic community, and one of the major roles that I undertake is being the managing editor and sometimes author of DAS publications, such as the Asia Pacific Journal of Developmental Differences, the DAS Handbook, and Embrace a Different Kind of Mind, Personal Stories of Dyslexia. This research I am presenting today was from my master's dissertation, completed in 2019, and published in the Asia Pacific Journal of Developmental Differences in July 2020. The research was to identify entrepreneurs in Singapore with dyslexia, to explore their educational and business experiences, and to identify unique attributes, if any, that dyslexic entrepreneurs might have. Now, today I will only be able to share with you their educational experiences. But if you wish to find out more about business experiences and their unique attributes, I encourage you to have a look at the journal article that's published in the APJDD. One of the reasons why I embarked on this research was because of the Embrace Dyslexia movement at DAS. It was launched in 2014, and we celebrate the strength of those with dyslexia to provide hope and a voice to the dyslexia community. It allows DAS to make a conscious shift towards the positive dyslexia movement, and it was aimed at acknowledging the challenges that the individuals face, but also to celebrate the strengths and talents of dyslexia. When we launched the campaign, we also published a book, Embrace a Different Kind of Mind. There were 57 stories of individuals with dyslexia in Singapore, and some of them featured entrepreneurs here in Singapore. The incidence of dyslexia in the general population in Singapore is estimated between 4 and 10%. However, the incidence of dyslexia in the Singapore entrepreneurial population is actually unknown. And DAS is an organisation that is considered to be an expert in the support of children with learning differences, as well as one of the leading trainers of educators and professional specialists who support students with learning differences. However, DAS has a significant gap in the services that it provides to adults with learning differences, and even understanding their experiences in higher education and in the workplace. In the definition that we used of dyslexia was one that is published by DAS, and it's published on our website. It talks about it being a developmental difficulty, and which affects language learning and cognition, and it primarily affects the skills involved in reading and writing and spelling. And what we do know is through our remediation programs at DAS, we work on phonological awareness, verbal memory, and processing speed. Dyslexia is one of the specific learning differences, and we know that individuals with dyslexia don't generally have more than one challenge, and therefore no 2 individuals are the same. I looked at the impact on learning of having a specific learning difference and the sorts of things that our learners are faced with when they're learning. And I also looked at the talents and attributes of dyslexic adults. And there's a large section in the research journal looking at the talents of dyslexic adults, so you might like to refer to that. Also, I defined what is an entrepreneur, and I really like this definition. They are people who create and grow enterprises. They see the world differently to the rest of us and so challenge the status quo. They play a major role in the development of an economy, and they know what they want and how to get it. I really like this definition. I felt that this was the individuals that I would be looking for in the dyslexic group. I also looked at the talents and attributes of entrepreneurs, what makes them tick and what makes them an entrepreneur and why are they different. And when research was conducted by Julie Logan from the Cass Business School at the University of London, she said that dyslexics were successful in business, and she indicated that dyslexic entrepreneurs started their own business to control the environment around them. I can understand that. They were doing things that they were good at, and they were bringing other people around them to compensate for them for they weren't so good at. They were delegating, and they were using their right brain skills. And she said that dyslexia wasn't a barrier to starting a business, and it was a place where they could truly shine. And this really intrigued me about this research. One of the reasons why I did this research is because of Julie's research. In her research, she found that the incidence of dyslexia in the UK amongst entrepreneurs was nearly twice as many in the general population, nearly 20%. So that was quite a significant finding. So that inspired me to do this research, to be able to identify the dyslexic entrepreneurs. So I took the challenges of a learning difference, and then I took the strengths of an adult dyslexic, and then the entrepreneurial traits. And then putting this combination together would give me a picture of who I was looking for, a roadmap on how to survey entrepreneurs in Singapore. This helped me to identify the characteristics of entrepreneurs and what I was researching. The survey consisted of 4 sections, which included a dyslexic screener. The survey had 85 questions and 5 long answer questions. It was a very ambitious undertaking, and the survey took more than 30 minutes to complete. However, I did find a number of participants who did it, and I mainly found them through social media. Using LinkedIn, I personally invited over 1,000 Singapore founders to complete the survey, and I also advertised in entrepreneurial groups on social media. I found 125 participants. However, only 88 participants were included in the analysis. And the reason for that is actually they didn't complete the full survey, and they mainly left the dyslexia checklist empty. Out of 88 participants, 58 were male and 30 were female. So what were the key findings? Well, the first question was, what was the incidence of dyslexia in Singaporean entrepreneurial population? Well, it was 26%. 26% of the participants were classified into the dyslexic group. 13 participants, or 15% of them, already had a formal diagnosis of dyslexia, and 10 participants, or 11%, were found to be at risk of having dyslexia by using the adult dyslexia checklist. Now, I'd just like to say something about the adult dyslexia checklist here. It was something that I used to categorize dyslexic and non-dyslexic groups. Okay, and it's not a diagnostic tool. It just highlights areas of difficulty that are characteristic of dyslexic adults. I like to stress that the checklist is not a confirmation of a diagnosis of dyslexia. However, I did use it to categorize the 2 groups. One was a dyslexic group and one was a non-dyslexic group. As a result, I also did analysis on the dyslexic checklist, and the results from that were highly significant. So it did manage to discriminate between the 2 groups very effectively.